So prior videos, we have been doing things like creating file objects, creating new files, and writing to files. But now we need to be able to read from files. So I have set up in my working directory a file called student.txt, and I filled it in with students and their name, GPAs, and of course their majors, and separated each of those fields with commas. So we're going to read in the data into our program here. Okay, so that's the intention. All right. So we've created our file object just like we've done in the past. And in order to read things in from a file, we use the scanner object. Just like we've used the scanner object to read things in from the console, we'll use the same object to read things in from a file. So I'm going to create a scanner object. I'm going to call this one read file. Read file equals new scanner object. New scanner. Now when we create a scanner object, we have to put in, we can't put in a text, like you can't just put in student.txt. We need an object. And so we're going to put in our file object that we created above. Okay. Now I'm still getting the little red squiggly lines. It wants us to catch that file not found exception. So in the past video, I showed you how you can catch that within this main method, but we're just going to throw it back to the JVM right now because I don't want to work with file not found exception. Work with that code in this particular example. Okay, so now we are reading in from that file, and we need to read the lines. So what I'm going to do is set up a while loop. While read file has next. So that's a method that will give us a Boolean true or false. I guess I spell it correctly. Has next. Gives us a Boolean true or false if there is anything to be read. If there is more data for us to read in, let's just keep reading until this Boolean is false. And so now let's read in the line. We're going to do a string line equals read file next line, just like we've done before, to get in, read in that line of data until it hits the line return. So as long as there's no line return, it's going to put it into our line. We've seen this before. This isn't anything new. System.out.println. The only difference is now we're reading it in from a file, where before we've read it in from the console. So now if we run this, we should see our 3 files. Okay, well, that's all well and good, but let's break these fields up into, so we maybe could put it into an array or into fields or maybe into object properties. Okay, so what we're going to do then is no longer read in the file. Let's do this. Well, actually I'll keep that. And then what we can do is put in a method on top of this that's called split. And what I'm going to do is split it according to commas. The problem here is, or the bonus here is, probably is what I should say, I don't have it set up right, that's the problem. The bonus is that by doing this split comma, it's going to split that line, it's going to read the line and split with the comma delimiter, everything that finds within those tokens in between each set of commas, and it's going to put those tokens into an array. So I need to set up an array. I'm just going to call it string, array of fields, I don't know whatever you want to call it, equals new. It needs to be an array, so I need to put it in an array, new string. Okay, and so now I guess I need to call that array fields. Okay, and so now each of those values will be put into an array, and what we'll do then is print out, let's do this. I'm going to do, the first field was a name, so string name equals array fields of 0. The second token, or the middle portion between those commas, was the GPA, which should be a double. So since everything that comes in from a next line is string, I'm going to have to cast this. So I'm going to parse double, and then we'll put in array fields of 1. And then last was their major, so that would be a string major equals ARY fields of 2. Okay, and now if we print this, system.printout.printf, and we're going to do, let's just print name and maybe a new line, major, let's do GPA, and then 2F, and then maybe we'll do 2 lines to differentiate them. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. And then comma, name, and whatever, GPA. Okay. So now what we'll see is that each time this, well, let's just run it. Looks like we got an error, so let's fix our error. What is it that we are unhappy with? Oh, we didn't like our string. Oh, right. What did I miss? I did not put in how many fields. We know that there are 3 fields per line, so we can just, each time this loop runs, it just overwrites, since we are reinitializing the array, it'll just overwrite what we already had, so we only really need to have 3 fields. So now let's run it and see what happens. And there we go. So name, Indiana Jones. So we have successfully read in our text file, which is Java examples, and here it is. So we have successfully read in each line using the split. Let me get rid of this so we can see them all at the same time, hopefully. Okay, so using the split method, we split this line into 3 separate tokens. First token being the name, which we put into the string. The GPA, which we then parsed as the double. And then the major, which is also a string. So that's how we can read data in and do whatever you need to do with it.